Time for Dodger Baseball. Live from Dodger Stadium, KCAL 9 presents the Dodgers as they take on the Milwaukee Brewers. Hi, everybody, and a very pleasant Tuesday evening to you, wherever you may be. Dodgers get a bolt of electricity tonight. The return of Matt Kemp, hitting .714 in 2 games at Albuquerque, obviously ready to play again. In a ball game that will feature 2 youngsters, Mike Fiers just called up by Milwaukee, Nate Eovaldi called up by the Dodgers, Fiers making his major league debut. Eovaldi pitched for the Dodgers last year in August, went up against the Brewers, pitched well but lost. He allowed only 2 runs in 6 innings. Interesting, too, the Brewers and the Dodgers have put on great shows. They've played 4 games. Milwaukee has won 3 out of 4, all of them decided by 1 run and 1 in overtime. We'll get to the ball game and a whole lot more coming up right after this. Evening to you, wherever you may be. It's come up a beauty here at Dodger Stadium as we await the start of Game 2 of the 4-game series, with 2 rookies going to the mound, one making his major league debut. For Ron Renicke's ball club, damaged by injury, and we'll get to that later, because before the game is to start, the ceremonial first pitch, appropriately enough, was thrown by the members of that magnificent infield. Garvey and Russell and Lopes and Say, and the 4 of them walked out to the mound to throw, and they were throwing to Loney, DeJesus, Gordon, and Hairston. So it was the past throwing to the present and the future, and of course, as I'm sure you know by now, the infield bobblehead, a big success. And what an infield, and especially what a time when they won that 1981 championship and beating the New York Yankees. But that was yesterday. Now let's take a look at tonight. And for the Brewer lineup, Corey Hart leads off in right field. Nigel Morgan is in center. Ryan Braun in left. Aramis Ramirez at third base hitting cleanup. Taylor Green is at first base. Ricky Weeks at second. Cody Ransom batting seventh at shortstop. Martin Maldonado will be making his major league debut behind the plate, and Mike Fiers will be on the mound. On the mound for the Dodgers, Nate Eovaldi out of Alvin, Texas. Alvin, Texas, of course, the home of Hall of Famer Nolan Ryan. The Dodgers persuaded Eovaldi to bypass a scholarship to Texas A&M, and they signed him in 2008. He got a little coaxing from the Dodger manager at the time, Joe Torre, along with Chad Billingsley and former Dodger pitcher Jonathan Broxton. He'll bring a good fastball that can be clocked as high as 98, a slider, and a change. He gave up the curveball for the slider. He is 6'3" and 190, and just about ready to go. And the right-hander's first pitch to Corey Hart, in for a strike. He starts him with a slider in the count 0-1. Hart at 6'6" gives you that big strike zone, batting .256. The strike one pitch, Corey backs off. He was signed by the Brewers way back in 2000 and has been with them ever since. Had a couple of big years, 24 home runs, 91 RBIs. Fouls a pitch away in the count 1-2. So Corey Hart, followed by Nigel Morgan, and then Ryan Braun. Well, Morgan waiting on deck, Corey Hart waiting at the plate, and the 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball sliced down the right field line, foul off the chairs and the facade covering. 1-2 to Corey. One of those kids who was certainly action prone when he was growing up. Broken ankle, broken hand, broken collarbone, broke his wrist 3 times, but he survived. The 1-2 pitch is down and away. 2-2 the count to Corey Hart. Corey played a little bit of first base yesterday, so he's trying to go where they need him. He swings at a pitch up and comes up empty, and down he goes. So Eovaldi works the ball up the ladder against Corey Hart and strikes him out. Meanwhile, for the Dodgers, it's welcome home to Matt Kemp. Matt, who went down, remember, and was out of the lineup from the 14th on, had 2 big games in Albuquerque, and over in Albuquerque they certainly thought he was ready. He hit .714 in 2 games. Nigel Morgan takes a strike, and the count 0-1. Making 26 starts in center field. Last year he hit .304, so he's off to a slow start as he takes another strike, and the count 0-2. Niger from San Francisco was originally signed by the Pirates, and the strike 2 pitch very high, and he wouldn't bite. Niger is an even 6, checks in at about 170. Not a lot of power. He had 4 home runs for the Brewers last year, none this year. Swings, rolls one foul over towards the Milwaukee dugout. 1-2 the count to Nigel Morgan. He's the kid, to quote him,
I was an African American kid in San Jose. It was weird. I wanted to be a hockey player. Well, he became a big league player, and here he is with a 1-2 pitch on the way. Fastball, slap foul. Good protector of the plate. Morgan had to go across to foul that away. So Niger, N-Y-J-E-R, Hamid, J-A-M-I-D, Morgan, out of the Bay Area. 1 out, first inning, no score. Evaldi ready, back with a fastball, and that's fouled away. And the count 1-2. So Nathan Evaldi working on Morgan. Morgan has only struck out 21 times. Evaldi put Corey Hart away. And here's the 1-2 pitch coming up to Morgan. A change off the plate. And the count 2-2. Evaldi looks down the barrel to get a sign. Ryan Braun waits on deck. 2-2 pitch is hit off the hands of Flair into center field for a base hit. So Nigel Morgan loops one into center, a 1-out single, and that will bring up Ryan Braun. Ryan Braun, last year's MVP, local boy, born and still lives in the Valley. Ryan coming up to the plate. Very pleasant guy. Before the game, I was talking to Ryan Braun along with Coach John Shelby about Braun's bat, and it caught my eye sitting up here. It seemed to be a longer bat than usual, used by other players. A throw to first, and Morgan back on the bag. And so I asked Ryan, just how long is your bat? And he said 35 inches, which is a little bit longer than the average. The average bat's 34, maybe a rare 34 and a half. But I knew I had seen bigger bats. The first pitch is swung on, hit in the air to right field. Ethier going back to the bullpen gate at the box seat. It is gone. A long bat and a long home run the other way. And just like that, the Brewers lead 2-0. Ryan Braun, the MVP last year, hits his 14th home run. It gives him 36 runs batted in as he takes young Evaldi to right field. Anyway, in talking about bats, I decided I know Matty Alou from years ago had a long bat. He played with the Pirates. So I called Manny Mota as we watched the home run go out on replay. And Manny said, oh, yes. He said, we had several guys on the club, 37-inch bats. The first pitch is swung on by Ramirez, popped up on the right side. Loney will back off and let DeJesus make the catch. And we have 2 down. So anyway, in talking to Manny Mota, we found out that Roberto Clemente used a 37-inch bat. So did Manny Sanguillen, the catcher, Matty Alou, Jose Pagan. But what's really interesting in talking about bats, Manny Mota said one time we were going up against Bob Gibson, who was a flamethrower. And would you believe, Matty Alou, who was the smallest of the 3 Alous, had a 37-inch, 40-ounce bat, and he used it against Bob Gibson. Anyway, that's the story on bats. Here's Taylor Green hitting .222. Evaldi works a little cutter in there for a strike, and the count 0-2. So in 6 innings against the Brewers last year, Evaldi allowed 2 runs, and he's allowed 2 in the first inning. Next pitch fouled away. Dodgers, remember, had the Astros score in the first inning of each of the 3 games. The Brewers didn't score until the 4th inning last night when Ramirez hit a home run. Strike 2 pitch is chased and missed in the dirt. No throw to first, just a clean strikeout. However, 2 runs, 2 hits. Ryan Braun with a 35-inch bat hits it into the Dodger bullpen, and the Brewers lead 2-0. And Nate Eovaldi for a deuce on the home run by Ryan Braun. Now we'll take a look and see if Mattingly's pocket full of miracles will work tonight. Tony Gwynn in left field, Evandy Jesus at second, and the return of Matt Kemp in center field. Andre Ethier hitting cleanup in right, Jerry Hairston at third, James Loney at first, A.J. Ellis behind the plate, D. Gordon at short, and Nathan Eovaldi on the mound. On the mound for Milwaukee will be Mike Fiers. He spells it F-I-E-R-S, but it's pronounced Fiers. This will be his first major league start. He also has a rookie catcher, Martin Maldonado. They both came up from Nashville and both appeared very briefly last year, so they're not really making their debuts. And leading off is Tony Gwynn. Fires over the top, and that's exactly what he does. Low for ball one. 1-0. Fires is 6'3", 200-pounder. He'll be 27 the middle of June from Pompano Beach, and he's picked up pitching honors throughout his minor league career. Mike ready now, and the 1-0 pitch on the way, and that's in for a strike. 1-1 the count. Tony Gwynn doing a great job in the leadoff role, and certainly held his own in center field while Matt Kemp got well. Tony hitting .287, 14 runs batted in. Fires, rocks and turns, big guy over the top. A drag bunt is instead a high foul, and it's caught by Taylor Green. So Gwynn trying to drag one, and he pops it up to the first baseman in foul territory. One away, and Evandy Jesus coming up. So the Dodgers move the infield around a little bit tonight with D. Jesus at second, Gordon at short, Hairston at third, and of course James Loney, the incumbent, at first. Beautiful evening temperatures, 74 degrees at the start of the game. Very light breeze blowing out. Fires, looks down to Maldonado to get a sign. Now Mike ready, and the right hand is first pitch, in for a strike. 0-1. De Jesus batting .273, 3 RBIs, picked up the 2 of them, remember, on that extra base hit in Arizona to win the game. Now the strike one pitch, Ivan takes another strike. 0-2. On deck, looming larger than ever, Matt Kemp. 0-2 the count, with the Brewers leading 2-0 on the home run by Ryan Braun. Now the strike two pitch on the way is taken high. Mike Fiers was the pitcher of the year in New York Collegiate Baseball League. Then he was the organization pitcher of the year in 2011. Here's the 1-2 pitch on the way. And it swung on, ground ball to short. Charging there is Ransom to make the play. 2 down, and now the return of Matt Kemp.
For the Dodgers center fielder, number 27, Matt Kemp.
So Matt gets the chance to hear the crowd and MVP. And of course, it also marks the first time here at Dodger Stadium. You have Matt Kemp playing in a game, and Ryan Braun is out there in left field. And of course, in that tough race last year, Braun won it, and the crowd wants to remind Matt of what they think. Matt batting .359. Fires, delivers a strike. 0-1. Kemp with 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in. The Dodgers, when you think about it, did well. For instance, without him, they went 9-5, and they held up the hitting. The strike one pitch on the way to Matt swung on and fouled away. With Matt, in a period of 34 games, the team hit .262. In the 15 games without him, collectively, they hit .296. And with Tony Gwynn and others leading the way, they certainly did a good job. But now Matt is back. Fires, rocks and turns. A strike two pitch on the way is swung on and missed, and down goes Kemp. Good fastball at 92. So the Dodgers retired in order, and at the end of an inning, Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing. First inning, a flare single to center by Morgan and a wrong field home run by Ryan Braun into the Dodger bullpen. Ricky Weeks will start it off. Then we have Taylor Green and Cody Ransom, and Weeks takes the first pitch for a strike and the count 0-1. You know, in the lineup that's on the board and in the lineup we have Green hitting now and not Weeks. So somebody gave somebody else the wrong lineup, and you start to wonder, is Weeks really hitting in the right spot, or is he hitting out of turn? Well, Ron Renicky might know for sure, but that's not the lineup we received, and it's not the lineup up on the board. The strike 2 pitch is fouled away. In the old days, you risked the chance of having the wrong lineup, because in the old days they did not use carbon paper. The manager wrote out 3 lineup cards, one for his own dugout, one for the umpire, one for the visiting team. Strike 2 pitch, a big chopper to Gordon. D has to set, throw, and gets him. Well, you have one away. We're looking at the lineup that was given to us and the lineup that's up on the scoreboard, and each lineup has Green hitting ahead of Weeks. So he had best do something and figure out whether there's a problem building or not. Anyway, I remember the Dodgers playing the Cubs quite a few years ago, and Frankie Frisch was the manager of the Cubs. And the first pitch on the corner for a strike. 0-1. And the next pitch swung on and missed. We're going back through the lineup because Hart struck out, and after Ramirez popped up, we're going back, and it looks like Green had struck out, but we got out of there in a hurry. So okay, cancel everything about the wrong lineup. Big chopper again to short, on the run and in the dirt, and a good pick by Loney after the throw by D. Gordon. And Gordon never stopped running until he crossed the third base foul line and was well into foreign territory. So a high jumper, and here comes Gordon, off balance throw in the dirt. Nice play at the other end, and we have 2 down. So with 2 away, Cody Ransom has just grounded out, and here comes Martin Maldonado. And Maldonado promptly loops one into right center field. That's going to fall for a base hit. So Maldonado just called up from Nashville along with the pitcher Mike Fiers. He's from Puerto Rico and was originally drafted by the Angels. They're taking the ball back to the dugout for Maldonado. That is his first major league hit. He had 1 at bat with the Brewers last year, and he struck out. So now he's got his first one. So a single to right for Martin Maldonado, and the batter is Mike Fiers, the pitcher. Evaldi ready, fastball off the plate, ball 1, 1-0. Just to conclude, Fish and the wrong lineup. He sent the wrong lineup card up to home plate compared to the card that he was using in the dugout. Another slow roller to third. Nice big hop, however, for Hairston to get him. So Nate Evaldi gets out of it in the second inning, and at the end of an inning and a half, Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing. The Dodgers 2-0. A flare single by Nigel Morgan, followed by a home run by Ryan Braun. In the second inning, Andre Ethier, then the birthday boy Jerry Hairston, and James Loney waiting to go up against Mike Fiers. Fiers making his major league debut in a starting role. So Mike tuning up, works directly over the top. One of the things he credits for his success last year, the fact that he came up with the cut fastball. So he can add fastball, slider, curve change, and a cutter. So he set the Dodgers down in order in the first inning with Matt Kemp striking out. And here we go in the bottom of the second inning. 2 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Brewers, and nothing across for the Dodgers. Andre Ethier, while Matt Kemp was out, and for that matter the entire year, but when they really needed Ethier to respond he did. 9 home runs, 42 runs batted in, hitting .318, and the left-hand batter backs out for the moment before checking back in. So Andre waiting. Fiers about ready, and here we go. Right-hander comes directly over the top high. Ball 1. 1-0 the count to Andre Ethier. Ethier trying to light a fire now and get something started. He's been kind of an iron man in the sense he's only missed 1 game this year. 46 out of 47. Now 47 of 48. And he takes a pitch low, ball 2. 2-0 the count. The only game that Andre missed was the 23rd of the month over in Arizona. Ethier hitting .318, but he really lights up with runners in scoring position, hitting .388. This time he fouls it back. 2-1 the count to Andre. Another thing for Ethier, considering the fact the Dodgers have played in a lot of tough ball games. For instance, they have been involved in 20 games decided by 1 run as Matt Kemp blows bubblegum. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That swung on and fouled away. But in those tough games, in the 7th inning on, Ethier is hitting .380. So everything you would want in a hitter is right there at the plate in Andre Ethier. 2-2 the count. Mike Fiers looks down the barrel to get a sign. Now he's ready, and the 2-2 pitch on the way. A broken bat, soft line drive to center for a base hit. The bat goes into the crowd beyond the visiting dugout. So Ethier a single to center, breaking the bat as well, and that will bring up Jerry Hairston. Boy, that piece of wood really went flying, as did the ball. So a base hit, and Jerry Hairston celebrating his 36th birthday coming up. For Hairston, he was with the Brewers last year in 45 games. He had a home run, 7 RBIs, hit .274. Right now, as he checks in with the Dodgers, hitting .394 with a home run and 7 runs batted in. Out of a stretch goes Fiers, comes to the plate, good fastball in there. 0-1. So Hairston followed by Loney. 2-0 Brewers, second inning. Fiers, right foot on the rubber, looks down to get a sign. Hairston waiting. Jerry born in Naperville, Illinois. Now the strike 1 pitch on the way. Swung on, high fly ball, but it's playable. Nigel Morgan, the center fielder, calls and makes the catch. Ethier goes back to the bag. And we have 1 out in the second inning. And James Loney coming up. Fiers set the Dodgers down on 10 pitches in the first inning. So he gives up a broken bat single, an out, and here's Loney. James doing very well against right-hand pitching. He's hitting .298 against right-handers, and 333 in the games he's played here at home. So one away, second inning, Brewers lead 2-0. Loney followed by A.J. Ellis. Fires hiding the ball back of his right hip. Loney not quite ready. And now they hook up. Ethier off the bag at first, held on by Taylor Green. Right-hander ready and delivers, and the first pitch is low, ball one, 1-0. Andre Ethier over at first base. Not really a threat to go. He's been involved in one steal and he was caught, but probably realistically more of a busted hit and run play than a straight steal. 1 ball and no strikes to Loney. 2-0 Brewers. We're in the second inning. The 1-0 pitch on the way, and Loney way out in front of it. Off speed pitch at 82, and the count 1 ball and 1 strike. Mike Fiers out there on the mound, turned pro in 2009 and has made a lot of stocks up the way, and eventually called up from Nashville. Of course, for the Brewers, they have really been hit. They have 7 men on the DL. 1 ball and 1 strike to James Loney. Fiers ready, the pitch, and that's a little low, ball 2. The 7th man to join the DL was their fine catcher, Jonathan LaCroix. LaCroix, victim of a freak accident where a suitcase fell off the bed, landed on his hand while he was groping for a sock, and he winds up with a broken hand, and he'll be out anywhere from 6 to 8 weeks maybe. So Martin Maldonado, a very good defensive catcher, is behind the plate. Yesterday, George Kataris did the catching, even though he's been plagued by hamstring cramps. Kataris yesterday went 0 for 3. So the Brewers have been hurting. I mean hurting. LaCroix is out. Travis Ishikawa is out. Cesar Torres, Marco Estrada, Alex Gonzalez, Matt Gamble, Chris Naverson, and Ron Renicky trying somehow to hold the club together. Here's the 2-1 pitch on the way to Loney, and that's high. At the start of this game, the Brewers are in 5th place, 7 behind Cincinnati. For the Dodgers, they're in first place, 6.5 games in front of the Giants. 3-1 the count. But we'll see now if they're going to run Ethier. Fiers looks over, now goes to his stretch. Set, ready. Ethier's not going, and it's foul back. So 1 out. Second inning, a 3-2 count to Loney, and the Brewers leading on a single by Morgan and a home run by Ryan Braun. Braun defined as brawny with that home run as a right-handed batter. Ryan hit the ball into the visiting bullpen in right field, not in the Dodger bullpen where you'd expect it to go. All right, 3-2 with 1 out. What about Ethier? He is going, and the pitch is swung on, and a drive to deep right. Going back on the ball is Hart, reaches up and makes the catch as he slams into the wall, and back to first base goes Ethier. Corey Hart is 6'6", and he needed every inch of it to go back to the wall and reach up and grab Loney's long fly ball. So a nice play by Corey. A long out to right, and with 2 down, the batter will be A.J. Ellis. So Loney just misses, sticking one off the wall, and a fine play by Corey Hart, who played first base yesterday and is in right field tonight. Ellis, the right-hand hitting catcher, and A.J. looks at a pitch high, ball 1. 1-0 the count. When you look at Fiers and at his background, he was 8-1 in his first year in the low minors, but otherwise his figures are not particularly impressive. Right-hander ready, and the 1-0 pitch coming up to A.J. Ellis, and that's taken for a strike. For instance, in Nashville, when he was just called up, his record 1-3. He was 1-0, 4-8, 1-1, Last year at Nashville, he was a star, 8-0. 1 ball and 1 strike. Fires comes back, and this time it's a little low, and a 2-1 count to A.J. Ellis. Dodgers enjoying a great record. They've won 32. They're 6.5 in front of the Giants. They've won 21 games at home. They're 1 game above 500, and they have a long road trip coming up. Here's the 2-1 pitch to A.J. Ellis. Over the top and line foul down the line. So 2-2 to A.J. Ellis with his .315 batting average. 5 home runs, 23 runs batted in. Two runs, 3 hits, and no errors for the Brewers. No runs, 1 hit, no errors for the Dodgers. All right, Ellis back up and waiting. Fires, soon to be 27. Ready, delivers, and it's in there at the knees. Strike 3 called, a 91-mile-an-hour fastball. So a leadoff single by Ethier, but they leave him. Loney came so close, but no cigar, and the Brewers lead 2-0. Blue background, and the Brewers leading 2-0 as we go to the 3rd inning here at Dodger Stadium. It'll be Corey Hart, Nigel Morgan, and Ryan Braun. 74 degrees when the game started. Couldn't be lovelier. Meanwhile, in the 2nd inning, D-backs leading the Giants 1-0. So here's Corey Hart. Made that fine catch of the ball hit by Loney. It's a soft one-hopper to Gordon. A low throw and a backhand pick by Loney. Nice play. So Gordon a little erratic with the throw, and Loney does a fine job to save him an error. A reminder, the Dodgers and Angels, June 11, 12, 13, and the 12th, Mike Scioscia bobblehead night. Fans with the first 50,000 ballot tickets can take home their very own mini Scioscia blocking the plate. Compliments of State Farm. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions. Nigel Morgan shows bunt, lets it go by, 1 ball and no strikes. 1-0 the count, 2-0 in favor of the Brewers. The next pitch in for a strike, and again Morgan shows bunt. Mike Scioscia has to be smiling these days with the Angels having won 7 straight. 1-1 pitch is bunted. Down to get it. Eovaldi has to hurry, and it's there just in time. So twice Morgan showed he was thinking about bunting. Sure enough, he got it down, and he's thrown out. Nice play by Eovaldi. Well, it's going to be a long 4-game series for Ryan Braun because the crowd is on him. Last night he was robbed of a hit by Bobby Abreu, walked twice, wound up going 0 for 2. Tonight, in his first at bat, he hit his 14th home run into the visiting bullpen in right field. So Ryan checks in, and the first pitch in for a strike, and the count 0-1. Braun hitting .313, 14 home runs, 36 runs batted in. Ryan was the Rookie of the Year in 2007 as he fouls a pitch away, and the MVP in 2011. Went to school at the University of Miami. Born in Mission Hills, lives in Granada Hills. His mom is a brewer. I mean, she is a real brewer as he fouls one back. His mom, Diane, makes beer for Anheuser-Busch in Van Nuys, or at least the last we checked. 0-2 the count to Ryan Braun. 6'2", 200-pounder. He'll be 29 the middle of November. Now the strike 2 pitch on the way. Swung on and fouled off. So Ryan Braun, who came to the Brewers as their #1 pick back in 2005, came to stay in 2007. He's hit as many as 37 home runs, and he's had a high of 114 runs batted in, and he fouls another pitch away. When he was at Granada Hills High School, he broke the school's career home run record with 25. No balls and 2 strikes to Braun. Eovaldi delivers, and that's foul back. One thing for Ryan Braun, hitting .337 against the rest of the National League, but struggling in the Western Division. Until his home run, he was 0 for 12 against the Dodgers. Here's the strike 2 pitch on the way, and Ryan takes way off the plate. 1-2. 5th meeting of the year between the two clubs, and the other 4 have really been push against shove. The Brewers have won 3 of 4, all 4 decided by 1 run, and 1 game in extra innings. Here's the 1-2 pitch, and Braun swings and fouls that away. Still 1-2. He gets that 35-inch back swinging. But since he holds it all the way down on the knob and then holds it straight up, it looks more like an antenna than a bat until he swings it. The 1-2 pitch is swung on, punched on the ground. Loney backhands, hangs it to Eovaldi coming over, and it's a 1-2-3 inning. So at the end of 2.5 innings, the Brewers 2 and the Dodgers nothing. First inning, and that's it. 2-0 Milwaukee, bottom of the third. D. Gordon, Nate Eovaldi, and then Tony Gwynn against the young right-hander Mike Fiers. Fiers so far has allowed one hit, the single to Ethier. And the big right-hander's big, slow rainbow curve in for a strike. That was 72 miles an hour. 0-1 to count to Gordon. The strike one pitch, they pull up the corners, but a full swing foul makes it 0-2. Gordon had a rough game yesterday, struck out 3 times and grounded to short. D hitting .222. Fires into his windup. Strike 2 pitch on the way. Swung on. Ground ball to short. Picked there by Ransom. High throw. Speared by Green. And we have one away here in the third inning. You know, the most affordable ticket package at Dodger Stadium is available for select Wednesday and Sunday Dodger home games. With a Coca-Cola value pack, fans can enjoy 4 tickets, 4 Dodger dogs, 4 Cokes, starting at $18 per ticket. So for more information, visit Dodgers.com/specials. One away. Nate Eovaldi promptly hits one and caught by Ricky Weeks. You know, Eovaldi got a base hit his first major league at bat. That was in August of last year. And then Ethier drove him home with an extra base hit. And he almost got another. So a little flare to Weeks. 2 down. And Tony Gwynn coming up. Gwynn fouled out to Taylor Green. Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing, bottom of the third. Game 2 of the 4-game series. Clayton Kershaw tomorrow night against Giovanni Gallardo. And then Bills and Greinke for the 4th and final game of the series. Tony hitting .284. Ramirez plays in on the grass. Fires, does just that, gets a strike at 90 miles an hour. Mike looks over the fingertips of his glove. Long look at Martin Maldonado. And the strike one pitch on the way is a straight change at 72, but very high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Hitting in the number 2 slot, Ivan De Jesus. 2 young pitchers, Mike Fiers, Nate Eovaldi. Eovaldi coming up from Chattanooga. Fiers coming up from Nashville. And a fly ball to left center, pretty shallow. Morgan comes in to make the catch, so the Dodgers go very quietly. And at the end of 3, Brewers 2, Dodgers nothing. is brought to you by the all-new Chevy Cruze Eco, available to order. Chevy runs deep. And by Farmer John. Taste the local flavor. Brewers lead the Dodgers 2-0 in the fourth inning. It'll be Ramirez, Green, and Weeks. Aramis Ramirez hit a big home run in the fourth inning yesterday. He has 27 runs batted in, hitting .244. The big news in baseball today, Roy Oswalt has agreed to terms with the Texas Rangers. And the pitch to Ramirez outside. The Rangers said the right-hander is expected to join AAA Round Rock for the weekend, and then eventually he'll be up with the big club. Ramirez fouls it away. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals, Phillies, Dodgers were all interested, but Roy Oswalt goes to Texas. Aramis Ramirez runs the count to 2 balls and 1 strike. A lot of power, has hit as many as 38 home runs for the Cubs. Lays off a strike on the outside corner. He had 26 home runs for the Cubs last year. He was originally signed by the Pirates. He was only 16 years old and thought he was going to be a basketball player. Didn't work out. Fastball, foul back. Didn't work out because he might be a fine athlete, but he's only 6'1". So no way he was going to be another Michael Jordan, but he might very well be close to becoming a Mike Schmidt. What sounded like a cracked bat, ground ball to Hairston, who throws him out. So Ramirez taps out wide of third. Nice play by Jerry as he lunges to his left, goes down on his side, and then just gets right up. 1 away, and Taylor Green coming up. Taylor, left-hand batter, takes a look at ball 1. He's out of British Columbia in Canada. He was a 25th round pick by the Brewers. Swings, doesn't get it. 1-1. He's about 5'11" and 195. Last year, Taylor Green had 22 home runs at Nashville, and he was the Brewers minor league player of the year. The 1-1 pitch is swung on, lifted straight away, but shallow center. Kemp has to come away and makes the catch for the second out. So Eovaldi gave up a 2-out single to Maldonado, and he's now retired 6 in a row. And here's Ricky Weeks, who grounded his short. First inning. Ricky's struggling, and he is too good a player to be hitting 155, but that's where he is right now. Last year and the year before, he hit exactly 269. Ricky takes a look at a pitch low, and that's ball 1. He hit 186 in April, and it's been worse in May for him. Weeks has been with the Brewers since 2005, a first-round pick. He takes a strike. 1-1. He and Prince Fielder grew up together since they were about 10 and a half. They were drafted together by the Brewers and teammates for years. Fouled away. So for Weeks, probably tough to lose a close friend who went on to Detroit. Ricky is striking out too much. He has struck out over 100 times each of the last 2 years. But he had 29 home runs in 2010, 20 last year. And down he goes on a fastball up and in at 96. The fastball right at the point of his chin. Fortunately, Ricky got down. Weeks will be 30 in September, an even 6, 205-pounder. His problems continue striking out. Weeks has struck out 62 times already. Hits a ground ball to the right side. DeJesus is on it, and that will be that. 7 in a row retired by Eovaldi, but he couldn't get Ryan Braun in the first inning, and the Brewers lead 2-0. Is brought to you by Time Warner Cable. Enjoy all the things you love better. Internet, TV, and home phone from Time Warner Cable. Brewers lead the Dodgers 2-0 on a first inning home run by Ryan Braun. Dodgers had to come from behind in every game against Houston. Then last night in a tough game, the Dodgers had the lead early. Now tonight, Brewers leading 2-0, bottom of the fourth. DeJesus, Kemp, and Ethier in that order against Mike Fiers. Ivan grounded to short in the first inning. Ball one. DeJesus batting .250. Of course, his dad played in the big leagues for about 15 years, spending about 3.5 years with the Dodgers. The 1-0 pitch, and that's in for a strike. Ivan Sr. played here in 74, 75, and 76. His dad played a lot of years with the Cubs and Phillies as well. 1 ball and 1 strike. Ivan looks, pays a strike. 1-2 the count. You can imagine Ivan is a very heady player, having a big leaguer and a very intelligent big leaguer as a father coaching him all the way. 1-2 the count. Fastball on the hands, a little pop fly, tail of green. 1 away.
Center fielder number 27, Matt Kemp.
So tonight marks the return of Matt Kemp. Matt came up in the first inning and promptly struck out against young Mike Fiers. Matt, while he was in Albuquerque, gave the crowd some big thrills over there. But now back to the show. While he was in Albuquerque, he was 5 for 7, 2 home runs and 5 runs batted in. Swings and drives one to right. Corey Hart going back on the track and makes the catch in front of the bullpen gate. So Matt, a fly ball to deep right, not as deep as a ball that Loney hit that sent Hart up against the wall. So 2 out in the fourth. Andre Ethier single to center in the second inning, breaking his bat as well. It was surprising. Usually when you see a broken back single, it's kind of a flare. But Ethier hit the ball pretty hard, and then the entire meat part of the bat went into the crowd directly behind the Milwaukee dugout. So Andre hitting .322. 2-0 Brewers. 2 out, 4th inning. Off speed, slow change for a strike. 8 in a row retired by Mike Fiers. Hard foul ball. 0-2. Andre having a marvelous start. Say start. This is the 49th game of 162. No balls, 2 strikes. 1-2. That wasn't nearly as close as that fastball that decked Ricky Weeks. Of course, Ricky's been knocked down enough times. Timed is Ethier on a slow breaking ball, but he pulled it too much. That came up there at 75. So the Dodgers have 1 hit. That was Andre's single. 8 batters retired, and here's Andre trying it again. Hitting back of him, Jerry Hairston. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And popped in the air, shallow left field. Braun a long way to come, but he's there. And that's it. So 9 in a row retired by Mike Fiers. And at the end of 4, 2-0 Brewers. Quite a pitching duel. 2 young right-handers through 4 innings. Nate Eovaldi has made 57 pitches, and through 4 innings Mike Fiers has made only 45. It'll be Cody Ransom, then Martin Maldonado, and then Mike Fiers. Ransom had a tough day yesterday. Struck out 3 times and hit into a double play. Cody tonight grounded out in the 2nd inning. Ball 1. Cody Ransom was with Arizona. He was released and immediately picked up by Milwaukee. And he hits one in the air to left center. Kemp going along and caught by Gwynn. So 1 away here in the 5th inning, and the batter will be Martin Maldonado. You know, voting is underway for this year's All-Star game in Kansas City. That's right. Help send your favorite Dodgers to this year's All-Star game by voting up to 25 times at Dodgers.com. So vote today at Dodgers.com/vote. I find it very difficult to ask you to vote 25 times, but Here's Martin, single to right field in the second inning, and a base hit, his first major league hit. He had one previous major league at bat last year and went 0 for 1 with a strikeout. Maldonado, a very, very good defensive catcher, they tell me. 2 down. Now Eovaldi is starting to stretch it out. He's retired 9 in a row. So each pitcher has struck out 9. Mr. Fires, meet Mr. Eovaldi. For Mike Fiers to go to the mound as a starting pitcher for Milwaukee, he becomes their 7th starting pitcher this year. What points it up is the fact that all last year Ron Renicky used 6 starting pitchers in 162 games. Fastball strike. Of course, he didn't have 7 members of his club on the DL either. But Ron's such a pleasant guy. 1-2 the count. We're happy also to say that Ron Renicky had his contract extended through 2014 after he replaced Ken Maka. That's a strike. Down goes Fiers. That's 10 in a row retired by Nathan Eovaldi. But at the end of 4.5 innings, 2-0 Milwaukee. Nine is brought to you by your Southern California Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a luxurious Lexus today. Visit Lexus.com. And by Sports Authority, the official sporting goods retailer of the Los Angeles Dodgers. We're going to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Dodgers will have Jerry Hairston, James Loney, and A.J. Ellis against Mike Fiers. The totals are interesting. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Brewers, and the last 10 batters in a row have been retired by Nate Eovaldi. For the Dodgers, they have 1 hit, Andre Ethier, in the 2nd inning, and he broke his bat at that. Fiers had retired 9 in a row. Not only has there been only 1 3-ball count tonight, believe it or not, we've only seen 7 2-ball counts. In other words, there's a lot of first ball swinging and a lot of strikes being thrown as Hairston, celebrating his 36th birthday, looks at a strike. 0-1. Jerry with a home run, 7 runs batted in. One ball and 1 strike. Got a report on Mike Fiers. Said he doesn't throw very hard, but he is holding his own. Right around 90, high 80s. 1 ball, 1 strike. Foul back. 1-2 to Jerry Hairston. Fifth meeting between the two clubs. The Brewers have won 3 of 4. All 4 games decided by 1 run. And tomorrow night, Kershaw and Gallardo. 1-2. Fly ball slicing into shallow right center, but Morgan good speed. And we have 1 away. So now that's 10 in a row retired by Fires. Evaldi has retired 10 in a row. And the batter is Loney, who fly deep to right with a man aboard in the 2nd inning. That's when Corey Hart at 6'6" reached up and caught it before it hit off the wall. Corey waiting for action out there now as Loney checks in. James hitting .257, 2 home runs, 15 runs batted in. Ball 1. What brings Loney's average down is the fact he's hitting just .175 against left-hand pitching. .290 against right. 1 ball and no strikes. Fouled away. 1-1. Kershaw and Gallardo tomorrow night. Billingsley and Greinke on Thursday night. And then the Dodgers, who are 1 game above 500, go on the road to Colorado, Philadelphia, and Seattle. And when Kershaw and company come back, it will be the Angels and the White Sox. 1 ball, 1 strike. Ball 2. And talking about the Angels and the White Sox, you know, the Angels have won 7 straight, and the White Sox have won 6 straight. So that ought to be quite a homestand, and we hope you make your plans to attend when we get back. 2-1. Ball 3. So this is only the second 3-ball count we've had tonight. A.J. Ellis waits on deck. And the 3-1 pitch to Loney. On the outside corner at the knees, 3-2. Full count to Loney with Ellis waiting. And a high fly ball, shallow right center, a quartet, and it's Nigel Morgan making the catch. He had everybody out there. It looked like a team meeting. So that's the 2nd out. And here comes A.J. Ellis. That's 11 in a row. Retired by Mike Fiers. Ellis struck out in the 2nd inning. He's really been patient. That's one of the biggest reasons why he's so successful. And a strike. Of course, when you think about it, patience goes along with confidence. If you're a little fearful, you swing at the first pitch. But if you don't mind getting deep in the count, you're pretty confident. He's in a hole now, 0-2. I think all, especially the young Dodger players, have watched Bobby Abreu, and it's rubbed off. The Brewers in the 1st inning with 1 out. Morgan a little single to center, and then Ryan Braun hit one into the Milwaukee bullpen in right field, and that's it. Just did get a little of that. 0-2 to A.J. Andrew James out of Cape Girardeau, Missouri. Lives in Lexington, Kentucky. Went to Austin Peay University. Oh, 0-2. And that's going to go into right field. So that breaks the string at 11. After 11 retired, Ellis hits it off the end of the bat. It had a twang to it. He'll take it. Weeks unable to run it down. And the batter now will be D. Gordon. So Fiers has given up 2 hits, both singles. Gordon rolled a short in the third, 0 for 1. D 0 for 5 so far in the 2 games. Little ground ball wide to third. That's going to be a tough play. No play, in fact. There wasn't a thing Cody Ransom could do hitting that little one wide of third. As soon as Ramirez quit trying to get it, you knew Ransom had no play. So first and second, 2 out, and the pitcher Nate Eovaldi coming up. Eovaldi hit a little looper to Ricky Weeks in the 3rd inning. We told you he had a base hit last year in his first major league at bat, and it was against Milwaukee. Ball 1. So 2 runs, 3 hits for the Brewers, no runs, 3 hits for the Dodgers. And we're in the 5th with Ellis and Gordon out on the lines. And ball 2, and that's time for Martin Maldonado to go out there and talk to him. So he got Hairston and Loney on fly balls to retire 11 in a row. Ellis bounced a single into right. Gordon gets an infield single, and now Fiers suddenly fighting the strike zone, and he's behind 2 balls and no strikes. And low, ball 3. So Mike Fiers, who is sailing along, suddenly struggling. Waiting on deck, Tony Gwynn. Ron Renicky sweating it out. Fastball in there. 3-1 to Nate Eovaldi. Fiers and Maldonado came up together from Nashville, so they've certainly worked together a lot. 3-1 pitch. Another strike. Gwynn waits. Brewers lead 2-0. Dodgers have the tying runs aboard with 2 out. 3-2. Runners ready, and Fiers off the rubber. Ellis taking his lead. Gordon, of course, taking his with nowhere to go. The runners go, and it is strike 3 called, and Fiers fights his way off the ropes and strikes out Eovaldi. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 left, and at the end of 5, 2-0 Brewers.
organization, meaning the Dodgers. Way back in 1902, the manager of the Dodgers, named Ned Hanlon, came out to Oakland to take a look at a pitcher named Henry Schmidt, who had won something like 35 games out here. Well, he liked what he saw, and he brought Henry Schmidt to Brooklyn. And in 1903, Henry Schmidt won 22 games. Well, boy, they couldn't wait to get a contract over to Henry in 1904, and the contract came back unsigned with a note, and it said, "I quit. I don't want to live in the East anymore." End of Henry Schmidt. Just another paragraph in the zany history of the Dodgers. Let's go back to this one.
We move on to the sixth inning. 2-0 in favor of the Brewers. Corey Hart, who brings up that 6'6" strike zone. Corey struck out, grounded out, 0 for 2. Way outside, ball 2. In 5 innings, Fiers has made 66 pitches. In 5 innings, Eovaldi has made 65. Well, they're really matched up, except for the home run by Braun. And now Eovaldi 3-0, and Braun waiting in the dugout. He's going to hit third in the inning. Brewers are not a good road team. They've only won 9 games. That's a strike. 3-1. They've only won 1 road series. That was against the Cubs, and it was back at the start of the year. And another strike. 3-2. Over the last couple of years, Brewers have done well here. They've won 6 of the last 9, but down goes Corey. So that's 11 in a row, retired by Eovaldi. Fiers had 11 in a row in the 5th inning. So these two are really matched up. But if you weren't with us in the 1st inning, Nigel Morgan hit a little fly ball single to center, and then Ryan Braun, right-hand batter, hit one into the visiting bullpen, which is quite a shot for a right-hand hitter. So Ryan waits, and Morgan trying to get on again. Niger grounded to short in the 3rd inning. 0-1. And lifts one to left, coming up and ready to make the catch is Gwynn. Here's the ball that Ryan Braun hit, and watch it take a ride. It was a high fastball up, and he hit it up, over, and out. Crowd continues to boo Braun. The fact that he nosed out Matt Kemp, etc. Hitting .311. Matt quietly saluted Braun when the season was over. And remember, they said if Braun is found guilty, illegal substance, etc., you can have perhaps the MVP award. Matt said, no, I don't want it. And then, rare than rare, Ryan was clean as a whistle. No charges. 2-0 the count to Ryan Braun. But he's hearing it. I can hear a leather-lunged fan hollering something about steroids right now. Braun is 6'2" and about 200 pounds. Ball 3. Braun has walked 17. No, he struck out 37 times and walked 19. In there. 3-1. Nathan Eovaldi down 2-0, but pitching exceptionally well. 3-1. And ball 4. So Braun homers, grounds out, and walks. That for Eovaldi, his first walk, and it also breaks the string. He had retired 12 in a row until the walk. So now Aramis Ramirez popped up, grounded out, 0 for 2, hitting .243. 4 home runs, 27 runs batted in. And a high fly ball, but playable. Matt Kemp is at the other end of it. That'll be that. No runs, no hits, a man left. And we are heading for the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Brewers. Brought to you by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers, made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Infinity, luxury cars that deliver inspired performance. Brewers lead 2-0, bottom of the 6th inning. Tony Gwynn, Eovaldi Jesus, and Matt Kemp. And the Dodgers have really been tied in knots by the young right-hander Mike Fiers. He retired the side in the first and gave up a hit, then went on a roll and retired 11 in a row, gave up 2 hits, fell behind 3-0 to Eovaldi, and then struck him out. So now starts in the 6th, leading 2-0. Fastball popped in the air off third. Ramirez along with Ransom, and it's Ramirez. So Gwynn doesn't hang around. Just like that, 1 out. You know, the 10-game flex plan allows you to pick and choose the games you want to see during the remaining Dodgers home schedule. You can choose from bobblehead nights, rivalry matchups, or maybe your preferred day of the week, with tickets starting at $8. So visit Dodgers.com/mini plans or call 323-224-1365. Eovaldi Jesus grounded to short, popped up 0 for 2 with Matt Kemp hitting back of him. Ball 1. Mike Fiers, fastball, slider, curve, and a change. A little bit of a cutter that he'll throw once in a while to a left-hand hitter. 2-0 the count. In describing Fiers, they say he rarely will reach 92 with his fastball. That was 89. Kemp waits. Line drive over a leaping Ramirez and down the line. Braun over to get it. Jesus on his way for 2. He is in there. Eovaldi Jesus gets a double. That was quite a professional play. Ryan Braun racing over towards the line. Got it into Ricky Weeks just a hair late. Ricky right there on the bounce, got it down late. Second base umpire Tony Randazzo is there to make the call. So now Matt Kemp coming up. A good throw by Ryan Braun. Kemp has struck out and then fly deep to right field. 2-0 Brewers, and of course you know what the majority of this crowd wants. Matt has 12 home runs. Strike, off speed. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Brewers. No runs, 4 hits for the Dodgers. No balls and 1 strike. Off the plate. 1-1. Matt hitting .353. 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Missed 14 games. Dodgers went 9-5. Infield swung around towards third. Weeks is playing him up the middle. And for a pickoff play, but all he can do is knock a bad throw down. Maldonado again out to the mound to talk to Fiers. Fiers from Florida. Maldonado from Puerto Rico. One ball and 1 strike to Matt. Again, Weeks near the bag at second. Little nubber out in front. Maldonado is on it and throws him out. No place for DeJesus to go but hold his ground. So Kemp taps out in front of the plate. 2 out. And the batter is Andre Ethier. Andre Ethier broke his back, single to center in the second inning. Flied to left field in the fourth. Remember when Lucas Harvell was here pitching for the Astros, and we talked about how the hitters rarely swung and missed. Every pitch they swung at, they fouled off. Foul back, 0-1. Fiers has only 3 swings and misses. In fact, 2 through 5 innings. So just 2. 0-1 the count to Andre Ethier. DeJesus doubled. We have 2 outs, 6th inning. And the Brewers lead 2-0 since the first inning. 0-1 to Andre Ethier. Well, that was a swing and a miss. So that's only the 3rd. Mike Fiers will be 27 the middle of June. Pitching a dandy so far. 0-2 to Ethier. Ball 1. Fiers called up from Nashville. His record was 1-3 and an earned run average of almost 4.5. Maldonado's going to go over the signs again. Little big overhand breaking ball. Really a change at about 73. So it's still 1-2. So DeJesus with a double, now 2 out, and a 1-2 count to Andre Ethier. Fiers has only made 77 pitches. He's made 11 so far here in the 6th. Fastball whacked into right center, base hit. In comes DeJesus. Andre for 2, and the throw is too late. Andre Ethier doing what he's done since the opening bell. And remember, we were telling you earlier, he was hitting .392 with runners in scoring position, and he cashes in another. So Andre Ethier, another clutch hit, another RBI to give him 43, leading Beltran and Cargo. So it's 2-1. Favor of the Brewers, and here's the birthday boy, Jerry Hairston. Strike, 0-1. 2 runs, 3 hits for the Brewers, 1 run, 5 hits for the Dodgers. Dodgers have been in 12 one-run games at home, and they're 9-3. Oh, and 2. For the year, the Dodgers have been in 20 one-run games, and they've won 13. For the Brewers, they've been in 15 one-run games, and they've won 7. They have been in 6 one-run games on the road, and they have split the 6. So Reinicke's club out in front 2-1. And Ethier the tying run at second base. Oh, and 2 to Hairston. 1-2, 89-mile-an-hour fastball. Hairston didn't want to give on that. He got out of there at the very last second. Jerry, of course, has been a pro since 1997. Well, he's played this game professionally for a long time. 1-2. Big bouncer up the middle. Ransom is on it. That'll be that. However, DeJesus doubles. Ethier doubles him in. And the Brewers lead is 2-1. get the Dodgers on the scoreboard after the double by Evandy Jesus. So it is 2-1 in favor of the Brewers. They're still having that Ryan Braun home run with a man aboard in the first inning stand up. Now in the seventh inning, it'll be Taylor Green, Ricky Weeks, and Cody Ransom. Green struck out and flied to center, 0 for 2, hitting .211. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. And 1 ball and no strikes to Taylor Green. Evaldi has pitched very well into the seventh. That's a strike. 1-1 the count. Two and one. Those who have watched Taylor Green play a lot say that he drives the ball up the middle very, very well. Two and two. He had 22 home runs last year in Nashville. And ball 3. Evaldi walked Ryan Braun in the 6th inning. That's the only walk he's given up. And he has Ricky Weeks on deck. Remember, he decked Weeks when he was at the plate. And that's going to go the other way for a base hit. So Evaldi hits 93 on the gun, but Green just puts the bat on the ball and singles to left. 2 runs, 4 hits for Milwaukee. Weeks is 0 for 2, 2 ground balls. Grounded to short, grounded to second. Ricky did not get any offers coming out of high school, and he only got 2 scholarships offers. He accepted 1 and went to Southern University in Baton Rouge. We mentioned that he and Prince Fielder were very good buddies since they were about 10 years old, and then Prince was drafted by Milwaukee in 02 and Weeks right after him in 03. 1 ball and no strikes to Ricky. As Evaldi and A.J. Ellis put their heads together. Brewer, meanwhile, waiting, has been up with the Brewers since 2005. For quite a while, he was hitting 13 home runs, 16 home runs, 12 home runs, and then the last 2 years, 29 home runs 2 years ago, 20 home runs this year. And Rick Honeycutt wants to go out and talk to Evaldi. One ball and no strikes. Ronald Belisario is throwing in the Dodger bullpen. Evaldi had made 79 pitches through 6 innings. He's gone over the 80 pitch mark, and that base hit to Taylor Green. Whether Evaldi is tiring or not, it might show up in this column. The first 18 batters, he did not have a 3-ball count. The last 5 batters, he's had a 3-ball count, and then Green singled, and he's behind 1 ball and no strikes to Ricky Weeks. So they had to be assured that Nate was not running out of steam here. 1-0 the count to Ricky Weeks. Down and dirty, blocked nicely by Ellis. 2 balls and no strikes. Brewers got 2 in the first inning. Dodgers got 1 in the 6th. Now Eovaldi, they're watching him so carefully here in the 7th after that leadoff single. He's made 87 pitches right now. 2-0 to Weeks. And now behind 3-0. So that's a tip-off now. 6 batters, each with a 3-ball count. And Eovaldi is fighting it. Cody Ransom is on deck. And they let him swing 3-0 and a towering pop fly. Green hollered off the ball by Tony Gwynn. So a pop fly. Gordon straying out there, but Gwynn hollers him off. So they let Weeks, well, after all, 29 home runs and 20 home runs, give him the green light. 1 out, and that helped. Helped Eovaldi for sure on a 3-0 count. And now Cody Ransom grounded to short, fly to left. 1 away. Ransom batting .258. So you can understand Ron Renicky giving the green light to Weeks. Ricky with his power. Ransom is not a power hitter. Maldonado is certainly not a power hitter. And then you have the pitcher. So it made sense to let Ricky take a shot. Hard ground ball gobbled up. They're going to get 1. They will turn it for 2. So Ransom in this series is 0 for 7, and he has hit into 2 double plays, and it's still 2-1 Brewers. Favor of the Brewers. Dodgers trying to scratch back with Loney, A.J. Ellis, and Gordon. For Nate Eovaldi, getting the double play on Ransom. He has made 90 pitches in his 7 innings. So the two young pitchers have put on quite a show as Eovaldi stands and waits. He is due to bat 4th in the inning, and we'll see about whether they're hitting for Eovaldi or not. Loney fly very deep to right. Corey Hart caught it up against the wall. Last time up, flied to center. So Loney is 0 for 2, hitting .255. Manny Parra, a right-hander. Jose Veras, a right-hander. They're up now in the Milwaukee pen. So just as Don Mattingly counting the pitches and watching Eovaldi, Ron Renicky is watching fires. 0-1 to Loney. High fly ball, but it's playable. Morgan is calling. Niger makes the play. 1 away. So Loney 3 fly balls, 1 out, and A.J. Ellis struck out, single to right, 1-4-2. Ellis with a base hit tonight has reached base safely in 37 of the last 39 games and hitting .317. On deck, D. Gordon. Big slow change, and at 72 miles an hour he throws it for a strike. Mike fires. One and one. So Rick Honeycutt talking to Nate Eovaldi. He's bundled up, but that doesn't mean anything yet. Fastball, and I mean a big league pop fly. Cody Ransom. 2 down in the 7th inning. And the batter will be D. Gordon. Grounded to short, single to short. In the Dodger bullpen, Josh Lindblom is warming up. Scott Van Slyke going over looking for a helmet. Though Gordon is trying to extend the inning, and Van Slyke would then bat for Eovaldi. One way or the other, the 8th inning is Josh Lindblom's address. Gordon hitting .225. Hit that slow roller to the hole at short, and a change for a strike. That change 72 miles an hour. 0-1. Comebacker. So that's that for the Dodgers in the 7th inning. And we will see if they open up the gate in a minute and bring in Lindblom. At the end of 7, it's 2-1 Brewers. fine effort by Nate Eovaldi. Remember last year he made his major league debut against Milwaukee and allowed only 2 runs in 6 innings. Tonight he allows only 2 runs in 7, but the Dodgers can't do anything for him. But still, it was a very impressive 7 innings. And now Josh Lindblom takes over in the 8th inning. Lindblom, who has done a remarkable job, all things considered, carrying the weight of the 8th inning. He's undefeated there, 2-0. Great ERA, 2.2. He has walked 9 and struck out 23. He'll be facing Martin Maldonado. The catcher is singled and grounded out. Norichika Aoki is out on deck. Aoki started last night and was 1 for 4. So Aoki will be hitting, and another fine young pitcher, and another great job turned in by Mike Fiers. Fly ball straight away. Matt Kemp jogging in to get under it. So Maldonado doesn't hang around long with a fly ball. 1 out in the 8th inning, and here comes Aoki. In fact, Aoki has now been called back, and Brooks Conrad is coming up to hit. So it could have been that Aoki was a thought maybe to bunt. Instead, Conrad will take his shot now. Brooks Conrad recently called up because of the injuries, formerly with the Braves. He was an 8th round pick out of Arizona State by the Astros. Ball 1. 5'11", 190. He was born right in San Diego and lives over in Gilbert, Arizona. One and 0. Strike. Conrad's father, Jerry, built a batting cage and a pitching machine in the backyard. 1-2 the count. He went from the Astros organization to the Oakland A's, then to the Braves. Been with the Braves since 2009. 1-2. 2-2 to Brooks Conrad. Out on deck, Corey Hart. When the Dodgers come up in the 8th inning, they'll hit for Lindblom. Conrad, one of the few left without batting gloves, and he runs the count all the way. First there were none, then there was 1, and then a lot of players now use 2. He was a big fan of Tony Gwynn growing up in San Diego, and strike 3. So Conrad caught looking, and the batter now will be Corey Hart. Corey Hart struck out, grounded to short, struck out again. All 3 at bats were against Nathan Eovaldi. Foul back, 0-1. Hart played first base, played right field tonight. And a high fly ball to center. Kemp turns his back to get out there and makes it on the track. So for Lindblom, he does exactly what he does usually. 1, 2, 3 in the 8th. And we're heading to the bottom of the 8th. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. tough ball games with the Brewers, all on Prime, and then the Dodgers will head out and open up on the weekend with the Rockies, and the first two will be on Prime. After Thursday night's game, the Dodgers go to Colorado, 4 with Philadelphia, 3 with Seattle, and then they come home against two hot clubs, the Angels and the White Sox. Frankie Rodriguez, who appeared and pitched the 8th inning last night, got into a bit of a scrape, allowed 2 hits, a stolen base, and a run, but he got out of it, and then John Axford came in to get the save. So Frankie is right back in the fire. He's a veteran out of Caracas, Venezuela. You may remember he was with the Angels from 2002 through 2008. So 7 seasons down there. Then he went to the Mets. Then he came back to the Angels in 10 for a few games. Went back to the Mets. And now here he is with the Brewers. The one Achilles weakness for Rodriguez certainly would be stolen bases. With a stolen base against him last night, a success percentage of 82% for guys trying to steal against Rodriguez. Here's Elian Herrera, and a strike. 0-1. Herrera hitting .310, 2 runs batted in. Herrera switch hitter, and he's done pretty well from each side of the plate, hitting .308 left, .313 right. 1-1. Looking at Frankie Rodriguez in his work, he is 0-3, pretty high ERA of 4.7. He's allowed more hits than innings pitched. That's always a dangerous sign. Walked 11 and struck out 20. And the opposition is hitting .268 against him. 1-1. That's on the outside corner with a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 1-2 the count. Naturally, it's not quite the same Frankie Rodriguez, who saved 45 one year and 47 for another, and then for the Angels in 2008 saved 62. One and two. Away, 2-2 the count. Frankie from Caracas in Venezuela, but he lives in Long Island, Manhasset, New York. In the Dodger bullpen, Jamie Wright. Two and two the count to Herrera. And a little high, ball 3. Frankie Rodriguez has 1 save. John Axford has 8. He's the closer. 3-2 to Herrera. Sliced foul off third, back into the stands. That gives us a chance to tell you, big crowd tonight, figured to be, paid attendance 51,137. It was the infield's night. Garvey, Lopes, Russell, and Say. All right, 3-2 to Herrera. It's 2-1 Brewers, bottom of the 8th. Fastball got him. So Herrera caught looking. 1 fresh is out in the 8th. Plate umpire Todd Tichenor calling it strike 3. Now Tony Gwynn 0 for 3 in the leadoff spot. Fouled out to Taylor Green. Fly to center and pop to third. So the two young pitchers did a tremendous job. Now it's in the hands of the bullpen. Gwynn 0 for 4, hitting .280 and a strike. 0-1. Nathan Eovaldi made 90 pitches in his work. Mike Fiers made 88 in his work. So the two starters were very, very effective. And now it's up to the veterans. Rodriguez to be followed by Axford. The Dodgers punching in Lindblom. And we'll see about Jamie Wright. 1 ball and 1 strike to Tony Gwynn. Ramirez on the grass. Ground ball, plugging it up is Ricky Weeks. 2 down in the 8th inning. Ivan De Jesus is due up, and he will not come up. De Jesus being called back. Dodgers trying to get something going. Adam Kennedy will come up, and Matt Kemp on deck. So Kennedy will bat for De Jesus.
Attention, please, for the Dodgers, batting for De Jesus, number 3, Adam Kennedy.
Now Rodriguez and Kennedy certainly know each other. And going back, looking in the books, Kennedy going against him is just 0 for 1. Two out, bottom of the 8th. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. Another 1-run game between these two. Kennedy was with the Angels from 2000 through 2006. Rodriguez from 2002 to 2008. Foul back. So they were teammates for quite a while. And now they're going head to head in a tough game in the 8th inning. Kennedy hitting .224. Adam, no home runs. 6 runs batted in. Big at bat for him with Matt Kemp on deck. And 2. So the years go by. Kennedy with the Angels, the Cardinals, the A's, the Nationals, the Mariners, and the Dodgers. Rodriguez, the Angels, the Mets, the Brewers. And they finally meet head to head here tonight in a very tough game. 0-2. One and 2. 94-mile-an-hour fastball. Matt Kemp on deck, by the way, is 0 for 6 against Rodriguez, and he has struck out 4 of the 6 at bats. 1-2. Breaking ball pulled fair, knocked down, blocked by Green, feeds Rodriguez, and that's the inning. So the Dodgers go quietly, and at the end of 8, Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. by Carl's Jr. $6 burgers made with 100% Black Angus beef. And by Dodge. Visit us at Dodge.com or see your local dealer today. We go to the ninth inning. Once again, it's push against shove with the Brewers and the Dodgers. Elian Herrera, who batted for Josh Lindblom, stays in the game, plays second base and bats ninth. Jamie Wright will try to get some outs. He will go in DeJesus' spot in the number 2 spot in the lineup. Meanwhile, for the Brewers, it will be Nyjer Morgan, Ryan Braun, and Aramis Ramirez. Jamie has struck out 2-1. Strikeouts to walks, that's a strike. Wright appeared in the ninth inning last night and made only 10 pitches, so they bring him right back. Morgan, meanwhile, singled, hit back to the box, fly to left. 0-2. Nyjer's base hit in the first inning, put a man aboard, and then Ryan Braun hit one in the Milwaukee bullpen in right field, and that's the difference as Braun waits on deck. 0-2. Pulled foul. Garth Ord fielding the foul ball. Ed Sather coaching at third. Down in the bullpen, as expected, John Axford begins to warm up. 0-2. Foul back. Brewers have not been able to use their bullpen much in winning games. So Axford, who's their big man in saves, has 8. Frankie Rodriguez has 1. No balls, 2 strikes. Looked like a change pull foul. We're in the ninth inning. 2 runs, 4 hits for the Brewers. They had 2 hits in the first inning. They had a single in the second. They really weren't heard from again until Taylor Green singled in the 7th. The Dodgers have been pretty well shut down on 5 hits. Hard ground ball, diving stop by Loney, feeding right, coming over. Throughout the game tonight, Loney has made some fine plays, and that's the best one. Going to the line to take an extra base hit away as he backhands that and then gets it to Jamie Wright high, but Jamie's 6'6", so no problem there. 1 away, and here is Ryan Braun. He's the difference in the game. He's been the difference in so many games for Milwaukee. A 2-run home run. Even when they got him in the 3rd inning, it was a 9-pitch at bat, and then last time up he walked. Ground ball hard right by Loney on out into right field. That thing was ripped. So after Loney makes a great play, another one whistles by him for a single to right field. Ryan Braun. Oh, they're going to make it an error charge to Loney. All right. E3. One way or another, Bryan is aboard. Loney draws the error. And here is Aramis Ramirez. Popped up, grounded out, fly to center, 0 for 3, hitting .241. Ryan Braun not only hits home runs, not only hits .300, he also can steal a base. He's stolen 9 out of 12. And there he goes. The pitch is a strike. The throw is too late. So Braun has now stolen 10 out of 13. He's the complete player. And you may remember on the double by DeJesus, he made a good strong throw to second base. Almost got him. So we've seen him run and throw and hit with power. Ryan Braun. Ramirez trying to pick him up, and Aramis has 27 runs batted in. Ramirez was called up. He was 19 years old playing in the big leagues for the Pirates. Crack bat, ground ball to Herrera. So 2 out. Braun moves over to third, and the batter is Taylor Green. Anytime you have a runner at third, naturally you think about a wild pitch, so you check the pitcher's record. Jamie Wright does have 1 wild pitch. Taylor Green struck out, flied out, singled, 1 for 3. Although they say he drives the ball up the middle, his base hit was to left field. Foul ball right into the Milwaukee dugout. 0-1. When the Dodgers come up in the bottom of the 9th inning, they will have Matt Kemp, Andre Ethier, and Jerry Hairston to face John Axford. And last night, Axford was clocked on the gun several times at 100 miles an hour. Popped up, back of third, down the line. Hairston makes the play. No runs, no hits, an error, a man left. And here they come. Kemp, Ethier, and Hairston, 2-1 Brewers. Now have 5 hits instead of 4, and the reason they have the 5 hits, they've changed the call on that hard ball hit by Braun that got by Loney. They've made that a base hit. Couple of changes now for Milwaukee. As expected, John Axford coming out of the pen. He throws very hard. Carlos Gomez will take over in center field. And we are in another 1-run game, the 5th in a row between the Dodgers and the Brewers. So Kemp followed by Ethier, followed by Hairston, with 51,000 followers in the stands. Matt Kemp in the past 1 for 2 against John Axford. Ball 1. And Axford opens up with a 99-mile-an-hour fastball. He is 6'5", 205 pounds. Had Tommy John surgery in 2004. and was originally signed by the Yankees, but he never made it to New York. Came up to the Brewers 3 years ago. 1-0 to count. Foul back. 1-1. Matt hitting .350, 12 home runs, 28 runs batted in. Had 2 games in Albuquerque, and they said he was ready. Boy, you better be ready facing John Axford. 1 ball and 1 strike. Looked like he kind of released a straight change and missed by a lot. So 2-1 to count to John Axford. Basically fastball, curve, an occasional slider. Two and 1. Fastball, 2-2. That was 99. Axford had the Tommy John surgery in 2004, so he had to sit out the whole year. Andre Ethier waits on deck. Fastball fouled away down the line. So we're in the bottom of the 9th. Brewers 2, Dodgers 1. It's been Fiers, Rodriguez, and Axford. Fastball fouled away again at 99. Last night he had several 100-mile-an-hour pitches. And remember, we have 2 more games left with the Brewers. Hope you'll be out here tomorrow night. Kershaw and Gallardo ought to be a dandy. 3-2. Kershaw the rooter right now. Oh, is this great? I mean, we're only in the end of May, and listen to this crowd, and everybody's up. Foul back. I don't know how you can beat a 1-run game and a crowd of over 50,000 roaring on every pitch in the 9th inning. It is just marvelous. Come on out and share the magic with us tomorrow night and or Thursday night before the club goes on the road. 3-2. And a drive to the gap. There's nobody there. It'll go to the wall. Matt is on his way for 2. He is in there with a stand-up double, and the tying run is out there with nobody out. Last night the Dodgers had a 1-out walk to get the tying run aboard. Tonight, with nobody out, the long double by Matt Kemp. And now here's the cleanup man in more ways than one. Andre Ethier, a single and a double, and has knocked in the only Dodger run. And he is hit. And hit by about a 98-mile-an-hour fastball on the elbow. Right in on the elbow for sure. Once he takes that stride into the pitch, he is locked. He can't get out of the way. So Andre Ethier goes to first. For Ethier, by the way, that is the 4th time that he's been hit by a pitch. For Axford, that would be the 1st time he has hit a batter. It's interesting to compare. The Brewers have been hit 30 times by the opponents, while Brewer pitchers have hit only 10 of the opposition. So 2 on, nobody out. Here's Hairston. The Brewers look bunt, and Loney on deck. Ball 1. Axford 0-2 with a high ERA. It's 3.6. And he's another one who has given up now more hits than innings pitched. And that's never a good sign. The opposition hitting .236 against him. 1 ball and no strikes. And the bunt foul. 1-1. For Jerry Hairston, asked to get the bunt down. He has 1 sacrifice this year. Hairston, who was a big contributor to Milwaukee's success last year, now trying to undermine their efforts tonight. Green and Ramirez are up, but of course Ramirez caddy corner, and the bunt foul back. 1-2. So John Axford, pretty much of a cult hero in Milwaukee. Sometimes he'll wax that thin mustache a la Raleigh Fingers, and they love him for that. Now with 2 strikes on Hairston, we'll see if the bunt is still on. Kemp and Ethier taking their leads. High chopper. It's on the bag for Weeks. To first for a double play. Over to third goes Kemp. The one thing the Dodgers didn't want. Hairston hits it right up the middle to Ricky Weeks. So a double play, 4-3. 2 down in the 9th. The Dodger tying run is 90 feet away. James Loney will be the batter. Axford throws so hard that it is well worth your time to look up wild pitches with a runner at third. And he has 3 wild pitches, more than anyone else on the Milwaukee staff. He does have, from what we understand, a fine defensive catcher in Martin Maldonado. So there's Matt, 90 feet away. Dodgers down 2-1 with 2 out in the 9th. Loney has hit the ball in the air 3 times, fly deep to right. Corey Hart caught it right up against the right field wall, and then twice flied to center. Against Axford, Loney is 0 for 2 in the past. And a fly ball slicing foul down the line and out of play. You know, John Axford is not really what you'd call a big man. He's long and lean. He's 6'5", 200 pounds, and as we told you, had Tommy John surgery. He made 24 pitches last night. But back up, he made 23 pitches on Sunday in Arizona and 24 last night. Kemp saw 9 in his at-bat. And Loney hits it up the middle. On it is Ransom. And it's another 1-run game decided in favor of Milwaukee. They have now beaten the Dodgers 4 out of 5, and all of them by 1 run. And Ryan Braun is the hero. A single by Nigel Morgan, and Ryan's home run into the Milwaukee bullpen. That was the difference. The only Dodger run was the double by DeJesus and Ethier's base hit to pick him up.
The Dodgers and Brewers.
So the Brewers come in here and beat the Dodgers 3-2, and then come right back and beat them 2-1. And the Dodgers now will be facing Gallardo tomorrow night, and the Dodgers will have Clayton Kershaw. So another exciting ball game before 51,137. Look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Until then, we wish you a very pleasant good evening.